Have you guys ever heard of the Hellhound of Mons?
What? No, I haven't.
All right, so this account was first published in a story in 1919 in the a evening edition of the Ada News, which was a local Oklahoma newspaper. The story was an account from F.J. Newhouse, a Canadian war veteran, about the mysterious beast that shadowed the barbed wire along the edge of no man's land during World War I.
And no man's land, for my edification, is what?
So, no man's land is basically the area between the trenches of the opposing enemy lines that both sides would
where the boom happens.
They would claim to own, but nobody would go out there because they were fearful of what would happen. I mean, typically these areas were highly fortified with yes.
So it's like killing fields, basically.
Yeah.
Like, if you walk in, so it's
World War I was the first time that
zone.
modern idea of the machine gun was used, the first time that chemical warfare was used, the first time that landmines were really used. Yes.
Also planes, right? I think BMW was an airplane manufacturer.
Yes, they were. Yeah.
War is weird, man.
It really is.
It really is. Okay, I'm going to get all my young people, and I'm going to tell them to go in this trench, and you get all your young people on that trench because we want that area, and you want this area, and so we're just going to have our young people shoot each other.
Deal.
Done. Wow.
Just stupid as that.
That's basically what happened.
So, no man's land was also, the area was basically cleared by mortar shells. There was deep holes. There was dugouts of people trying to get entrenchments to gain ground. It was littered with barbed wire across all of it. And definitely, like I said, it was heavily fortified on either side of the line with weapons that would just tear through any sort of opposing army.
So there were reports of this something like slinking around in this area, a beast.
Well, to quote Mandatee, let me school you.
Ooh, I like it.
So, where they were fighting, the Battle of Mons was one of the first battles in the World War I. Basically, it was the first clash between the British and the Germans of World War I. And this was in central, southwest Belgium, below Brussels, below the capital. And this incident basically starts with the patrol of 5 men, one Captain Yeskis, and 4 men of the London Fusiliers. A fusil is a light flintlock musket. And basically, so embarking on this mission into no man's land.
So it was like light infantry.
Yes, light infantry. Very, very small squad going out into no man's land.
All right.
Let's go kill these guys.
They disappeared.
Nice.
Which was nothing unusual considering.
It's at war.
It's a war.
Sure.
Exactly.
What happened? They didn't come back. Oh, that's what usually happens.
But the terror began to spread when what happened next. The bodies were discovered several days later, and their throats had been torn from their necks. Their bodies were covered in large gaping tooth marks, and they were mauled, some to the point of unrecognizable. No one could identify their corpses. And shortly after that, one night, both sides' troops, both the Germans and the English, reported hearing a monstrously loud, demonic howling, almost inciting some of the troops to try and retreat from the front lines of this battle. And over the next 2 years, scores of men lost their lives to going out on patrol through no man's land, with corpses piercing as before. They were gutted, they were mauled, their throats were torn by force. The reports of the screams from either faction suggests that the creature itself had no preference to which side it was. It wasn't fighting for one faction.
Oh, okay.
It would just kill indiscriminately, basically.
And that's all we can ask for.
Yeah, that's
so both sides
not
just
a
be
politically
even-handed.
motivated.
Yeah,
race.
I like bipartisan killing.
So both sides suffered fatalities.
Yes,
Casualties.
they did.
Okay.
Yes, and the roars and howls, they persisted and they occurred more often, further terrifying those who were hidden in the trenches on either side. As soldiers posted on sentry duty began to give eyewitness accounts of a large, slinking, hulking hound that was rimming the perimeters of the barbed wire.
There's a lot of giant wolf things going on tonight.
Yeah, it seems like that. I noticed that
that's
myself.
F***ed up theme, man.
Well, and then one day it just stopped.
Okay.
And no further people died after 2 years.
And that's it. Okay, so what do you have to talk
mounds and
about?
mounds of body. But the story gets weirder. It gets way more spooky from here.
Oh, geez.
Of course it does.
F.J. Newhouse insisted on the authenticity of his story and the beast in question. So, quote, the death of Dr. Gottlieb Hochmuller in the recent Spartakian riots in Berlin has brought to light facts concerning the fiendish application of this German scientist's skill that have astounded Europe. For the Hound of Mons was not an accident, a phantom, or a hallucination. It was the deliberate result of one of the strangest and most repulsive scientific experiments the world has ever known. That's a direct quote from F.J. Newhouse.
Get out of here.
August
Shut the front
1919
door.
edition of the Oklahoma newspaper. So, the experiment that he's talking about involves the aforementioned doctor searching extensively throughout all of the land in mental asylums for a man that had been driven completely insane by his hatred for the country of England.
Wow.
And when he found the perfect candidate, the doctor then proceeded to create a new bioweapon at the behest of the German government by removing the insane man's brain and transplanting it into the body of a scientifically enhanced body, bigger, stronger, faster, just like a...
Yes,
like
I would watch the series on Hulu, totally.
It was like a head transplant.
Into the body of a Siberian wolfhound.
This is tight.
Really?
Putting a crazy man's brain into a Siberian wolfhound.
What could go wrong?
On the large side, they were saying that a normal one would be around 105 pounds and 3 feet tall. It's a very large dog. It looks similar to the shape of a greyhound, but much more muscular.
Right.
But if it was scientifically enhanced, this thing could be 5-6 feet tall.
We're talking about a super dog.
Weapon canine.
Have you guys seen like cane corsos?
Oh, yeah.
The Romans, they look like small tanks, all muscle. The Romans would put armor on it and would have it charge like advancing like enemies.
Why didn't they just get armadillos?
But they're like 7 feet tall, like on their back legs, and they look like steroid bulls.
That's why.
Damn.
Yep.
Anyhow, they said that this new creature was then ruthlessly trained to hunt British troops on the battlefield, and
How
then
do you
was
train
released.
a crazy dog hybrid?
I don't know, man.
What do you
This is
feed
I'm
it
just
as
telling
like
you the
positive
story.
reinforcement? Like, here's a English baby. What do you do?
A pocket full of treats.
So, anyways, they trained this creature to hate the British and kill them on the battlefield. And then
You
they released
really
it.
need to be trained to hate the British.
Right back into the story. I'm jumping back in, man, Daddy.
Do it, Nick Spry. Do it.
So they released it into no man's land, and the Germans obviously didn't think that this thing was going to turn on them and kill their own soldiers.
What? Okay, yeah.
But it did.
Yeah.
And so the rumors spread that even that the scientists had made his fur and skin impervious to gunfire, to bullets.
Oh.
And
Like a Luke Cage
that
wolf.
his emotions
Wow.
had been manipulated and enhanced to increase his hatred with chemicals.
Just got him liquored up, sauced up.
So it's like just strictly tequila.
It's a drug-induced hellhound. What could possibly go wrong?
I don't know.
This is the best story ever.
Yeah, no, this is great.
But there is no evidence of the doctor's existence or of Captain Yesky's.
Son of a bitch.
Then none of it has been purported, nor have any of Newhouse's claims been substantiated. And yet, none have been denied.
Exactly. It's like the CIA.
And no one knows what really happened with the Hellhound of Mons.
I love it.
That was awesome.
love it.
That's
like,
a great story.
That's a great story because it's like there's almost romance behind it. Like it killed everybody.
What
but
the hell is your idea of romance?
It's like the lake house with
Why
Sandra
do you
Bullock
stay away
and
from your
Keanu
house on
Reeves. And like a
Valentine's
giant...
Day?
It could still be out there.
Yeah, it's like a Frankenstein, like a World War I flavored Frankenstein. He was like created for a purpose, but like, he didn't really understand it, so he just killed everything. Like he didn't realize it was only supposed to be English people. And also, like, don't put it past the Germans to do some like weird funky shit like that, right? Like, don't immediately discount it just because it sounds really off the wall.
Never discount weird, funky German shit.
Yeah, no.
Absolutely.